All right, guys. Well, I'm back today with an overview of the brand new Zulisy OWLc. And as you can see in the intro, we put it through a beating and it survived. We'll talk a little bit more about that, the specs and features, its performance down at the range, as well as the price point and some discounts I got specifically for you guys on Zulisy products. Now, Zulisy did send this out. They sponsor the channel, and they also always kind of help out with different things going on, including donating some to Hurricane Helene relief. So a huge shout out to these guys for just always being there. With that being said, though, in full disclosure of them sending this out and always helping out the channel, we beat it up. We put it through its paces. We didn't cut it any slack, and we'll talk about the positives and negatives of this optic. I also want to give a huge shout out to AAC Ammo for always helping out and sponsoring the ammo to help make this video. We ran through a lot of their 115 grain as well as their 124 grain for this review. Definitely check out AAC. Huge supporters of the channel, and thanks to them for always helping out. Now let's dig into the full review. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that it is a Dr. Cut optic. Now, that Dr. Cut / Venom footprint is going to be found on a lot of the PSA daggers, but not all of the PSA daggers. And I love the fact that Zulisy does an optics cut for everything. The OWL or OWLc is going to be for the Dr. Cut. The Oak and OWLc is going to be for the RMR cut. And then things like the Otter as well as some of their new Z1Rs are going to be for the RMSC or Micro 9 footprints. So you'll want to take a look at whatever you're putting it on and make sure your footprints match. Now, this one is really nice because it features a circle and a dot. It gets insanely bright down at the range, and it is very durable. This also has an incredibly long battery life, I believe up to 50,000 hours with one of the top load CR1632s. And it's really nice because you can swap out the battery without dismounting the optic. And it also has a shake awake technology, meaning when it senses motion, it automatically turns on. And when it doesn't sense motion, it turns off. Very large push button controls located on the sides allow you to really adjust that brightness with ease. It also has sights built into the back and an incredibly durable housing, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, one thing I want to mention is the dot size and reticle on this, and it's a 3 MOA dot with a 56 MOA circle. I love this pattern, but you're stuck with this pattern. And that's what makes this optic pretty affordable. You can't toggle between the dot or just the circle or the circle and the dot. It is what it is with the dot and the circle, which is a negative. But honestly, if you're wanting a circle dot system, this is great. It works. No issues there. Now, the other great thing, though, about this is it comes in at 127-ish. After my discounts in the description below, you can grab this for about 105-ish with free prime shipping, which is an insane deal, especially with all those specs and features we talked about. The glass is very clear. Now, right now, it's actually covered with dirt and debris because we've been dropping it. On this version, you do see a slight blue hue, but it's barely noticeable down at the range. Very clear glass and a very crisp pattern on the circle dot system. Now, I dropped this from waist high on rocks. It held up just fine, did not lose zero as you see in the intro. Slammed it against the car hood, did not lose zero, and racked it against the bumper of the car without losing zero. This thing is built like a tank. You can see the housing is pretty thick with these ears. Now, that's another thing. It's not the slimmest profile in the world, but you are getting an insanely durable and beastly optic without being overly large with some massive protective hoods. Now, the edges on this guy are not the smoothest in the world, so when you're racking it, you can feel not sharp edges, I would say, but they're definitely more abrupt. But again, we are talking about kind of one of those high value options, especially right around the $100 price point. In summary, this is a solid option for a Dr. Cut footprint. It's going to be a beast. It's going to be a tank. It's going to work. Shake awake technology, great reticle system. The list goes on and on of those positives, and it makes a great pair for that dagger, and this dagger's been holding up great. This one's actually had a truck do a burnout over it if you want to watch some of those torture tests. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you use Zulisy, what do you think of them? Thanks to them for sending it out and always helping out the channel. Thanks to AAC for sponsoring the ammo. Have a good one.